Welcome to Zoe Stories. My stepmom turned me into her perfect daughter. My name is Ryan. I'm 19, a computer science sophomore at a small local university, and on the surface, I lead a pretty typical life. Hoodies, headphones, long study nights, and an obsession with online gaming. But behind the closed door of my room, when no one's around, I'm something else. Something no one would understand. Something I can't explain. Not even to myself. I never asked for this. After Dad remarried, things changed. Not immediately. At first, my stepmom, Vanessa, seemed like the kind of woman people admired. Elegant, composed, with this cold beauty that made you want her approval. She moved into our house like she was stepping onto a stage. Every room became a set, every meal a performance. She ran everything, including Dad. And now that he's working abroad, she runs me too. I thought she didn't notice me. Most of the time, she was too busy with her online boutique, makeup tutorials, or yoga in the living room while I tried not to look. But recently something shifted. Her gaze lingered longer. Her comments turned sharper. Last week, she stood in the hallway outside my room and asked, casually, "Do you ever get curious about what it's like, being someone else?" That question haunted me. I didn't answer her. I just shrugged and returned to my desk, my heart racing like I'd been caught. Because the truth is, I am curious. More than curious. I've always been drawn to the softness, the colors, the elegance. I've watched countless transformation videos online, living vicariously through strangers who dared to do what I only imagined. In secret, when no one was home, I would explore. First with my stepsister Olivia's old clothes we stored in the attic, skirts that swirled around my knees, a cardigan that still smelled faintly of lavender. Then Vanessa's makeup drawer. Just once. Just to see what I looked like with eyeliner. And that's where Grace comes in. Grace is my girlfriend. Or was? We've been on a break for 2 weeks. We had a huge fight. She said I was hiding too much, emotionally distant. She wanted openness, vulnerability, things I couldn't give. Not when I'm hiding this version of myself. She doesn't know. Nobody does. Grace is the kind of girl everyone notices. Confident, outspoken, sarcastic in a way that makes you want to laugh and win her approval. I was always in awe of her, and being with her felt like validation, as if maybe I wasn't as invisible as I thought. But lately I've been scared. What if she finds out? What if she already suspects? I stare at my phone every night, thumb hovering over the message app. I type long confessions, then delete them. I don't know what's worse, losing her, or telling her and watching her change the way she looks at me. Back in the house, things feel off. Vanessa keeps making strange remarks. She started calling me sweetie, in this sarcastic tone. And last night, she left a gift box outside my door. No note. Just a box. Inside, a pale pink blouse, a pleated skirt, and a pair of nude pantyhose. I froze. My first instinct was to throw it out. But I didn't. I hid it, deep in my closet under old hoodies and jackets. Like burying a dangerous secret. Why would she give me that? Unless she knows. The idea makes my stomach churn. I avoid her at breakfast. She sips her green tea and scrolls through her tablet while I eat in silence. Then, without looking up, she says, "You should try it on sometime. I think it'll fit you perfectly." My spoon clatters to the floor. She smiles without turning her head. I mumble something, excuse myself, and run back to my room. What is this game she's playing? Later that day, I get a text from Grace. Just 5 words. "I need to talk. Tonight." Suddenly, everything feels like it's closing in. Grace is coming over. Vanessa knows something. And I'm holding on to a secret so tightly that I'm starting to suffocate. I stared at the clock. 5:42 p.m. Grace said she'd be here by 6. Every second felt like a hammer hitting my chest. The pale pink outfit Vanessa had left still haunted me, hidden in the closet like it radiated heat. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Why did she give it to me? What was she trying to do? I paced my room, chewing on the inside of my cheek. My hands were trembling. A knock on the door made me jump, but it wasn't Grace. It was Vanessa. Her voice was soft, calm, and terrifying. "Ryan, can I come in?"
No.
But the door opened anyway. She stepped inside gracefully, her long silk robe flowing behind her like a cape. Her expression was unreadable, somewhere between smug and maternal. She looked around the room. Her eyes landed on the edge of the gift box peeking out from under my hoodie. "I see you didn't throw it away." I said nothing. You know, it's not a crime to be curious. Lots of people explore, especially at your age. The world is full of new versions of ourselves waiting to be discovered. "What do you want?" I whispered. She walked slowly to my desk, picked up my closed laptop, and turned to me. "I know what you've been watching." The blood drained from my face. "What?" "Tutorials. Crossdressing transformations. Makeup guides. You're not as subtle as you think." My knees nearly gave out. I backed away, like she'd physically hit me. "You spied on me." "You left your search history open," she interrupted, gently placing the laptop down again. "You're not in trouble, but maybe it's time to stop hiding." I couldn't breathe. "I'm not. I was just curious." "Then try it on." "What?" "The outfit. The skirt, the blouse." "You're curious, aren't you?" I shook my head violently. "Grace is coming over." "I can't." "Exactly." She smiled. "So it's your choice. You either keep hiding from everyone, especially Grace, or you embrace who you are. At least for once." She stepped closer. "If you want, I can help." I don't know what possessed me. Maybe it was fear. Or maybe it was this impossible temptation to stop hiding, even just for a few minutes. I nodded. She lit a vanilla-scented candle and closed the blinds. "Start with the clothes," she said softly. "I won't look, but you need to feel them." My fingers were shaking as I peeled off my t-shirt and jeans. The skirt slid up my legs with a whisper. The blouse clung to my chest like a secret. She turned around. "Pantyhose next. And then sit." I obeyed. I hated how easily I obeyed. Vanessa began with a moisturizer that smelled like roses. Her fingers were gentle but firm, spreading foundation across my skin with practiced ease. Then came the eyeliner. I flinched. "Hold still. You'll ruin the wing." I stared into the mirror. A girl was staring back. Not polished. Not perfect. But unfamiliar. My cheekbones looked sharper. My lips glowed with a muted pink tint. I felt something I couldn't name.
Excitement.
Terror. Maybe both. "There," she said, stepping back. "Look at you. Do you even recognize yourself?" "No," I whispered. "That's the point." 6:01 p.m.
Grace.
I panicked. "I need to change. I need to." Vanessa blocked the door. "Too late." "No, please. I can't let her see me like this." She held my shoulders. "Maybe this is exactly how she needs to see you." My hands were trembling so hard, I could barely undo the skirt zipper. But I froze. Something in Vanessa's eyes told me she wasn't going to let me hide this time. The doorbell rang again.
Twice.
Vanessa whispered, "I'll get it. You stay here." I could hear their voices downstairs. Grace sounded hesitant, confused. Then, footsteps. Up the stairs. I didn't know where to go. I stood in front of the mirror, paralyzed. My door creaked open. Grace's eyes landed on me. I saw it. The confusion. The shock. And then she stepped inside and closed the door. "Ryan." I looked down at myself. Makeup.
Skirt. Blouse.
Pantyhose. Wig slightly crooked. A boy trapped in a girl's reflection. "I can explain," I started. "Don't." Her voice was soft. Not angry. Just fragile. "Don't lie." I expected yelling.
Disgust.
Laughter. But Grace sat down on the edge of my bed and looked me over. "How long?" I swallowed hard.
A year.
"Maybe more." She nodded slowly. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I thought you'd leave. Because I'm scared. Because I don't know who I am either." She stared at me for a long time. Then, in a whisper, said, "You look beautiful." I blinked. What? You always looked uncomfortable in your own skin. But right now you look like you belong. The words were a lifeline. I sank to my knees, overwhelmed. Grace, I'm sorry. Don't be, she said. But you should know. Vanessa told me. She said you've been hiding something. She didn't say what, but she said I should come see for myself. My heart stopped. Vanessa planned this. She set me up. Downstairs, I heard Vanessa humming. She wasn't surprised. She was waiting for this moment. Why would she do this? I asked. Grace's expression hardened. I don't know, but I think she's been watching you longer than you realize. I looked down at my clothes. My legs. The painted lips. I couldn't tell where Ethan ended, and this new version of me began. Was I being manipulated? Or was I finally free? I didn't sleep that night. Grace stayed with me for hours after the reveal, just holding my hand, sometimes asking questions, sometimes just silent. She didn't run. That alone felt like a miracle. But the unspoken question hung between us like a blade. What does Vanessa want? I woke up to the smell of breakfast. Downstairs, the table was set, mimosas, fruit, eggs cooked perfectly. Vanessa was dressed in a sleek black wrap dress, flawless makeup, red lips that felt like warning lights. Good morning, girls, she said casually. My throat closed. Grace gave her a tense nod. I sat stiffly, feeling the soft fabric of the blouse cling to me. I hadn't changed out of it. Somehow, I couldn't. Vanessa poured juice like we were just a normal family. Ryan, she said, you've made so much progress. I'm proud of you. Progress. I snapped. This isn't some makeover show. Her smile didn't waver. Isn't it? Grace placed her fork down. What are you trying to do to him? Her, Vanessa corrected. I went pale. Don't. But isn't that what you want, Ryan? Or are you still pretending you don't enjoy this?
She leaned in.
You could have taken the outfit off, but you didn't. You could have run when Grace came, but you didn't. So tell me, why are you still dressed like that? I had no answer, because she was right. That afternoon, Vanessa made her proposal. She stood in my doorway with a pale blue dress and a matching set of heels. You've tasted the beginning, she said. Now I want you to commit. 1 week. Live as my daughter. No more hiding, no more guilt. I'll guide you, shape you, polish you. You'll be everything you're afraid to be. I recoiled.
Why?
Because you're already halfway there. You're feminine, sensitive, beautiful. You just need someone to bring it out. You want to own me? No, she whispered. I want to free you. Grace and I argued all evening. You can't trust her, she said. She's manipulating you. I know. But what if she's right? Ryan. I've been hiding for so long. I don't know what I want anymore. But when she dressed me up, I didn't hate it. I felt seen. Grace looked at me like I was fading in front of her. What if this is just her game? What if she's trying to erase you? Maybe that's not the worst thing, I whispered. I agreed. I told Vanessa I'd do it for 1 week. She smiled like a cat who'd caught a bird. The transformation went deeper now. Hair removal, skin care routines, learning to walk in heels, how to sit, speak, gesture with grace. She corrected everything, taught me how to eat like a lady, criticized my posture, my voice. I began calling myself Riley. Every morning, she laid out a new outfit. Every night, she removed my makeup with almost maternal affection. She brushed my wig like it was real hair and told me, soon, you won't need this at all. I didn't know what she meant. 3 days in, she brought me to her dressing room. She had 2 mannequins, one with a boy's hoodie and jeans. The other wore a full-length evening gown with rhinestone heels and a long black wig. This is the old you, she said, gesturing to the boy. Forget him. Then she took the wig from the mannequin and placed it on my head. Now look in the mirror. I turned and gasped. For a second, I couldn't see Ethan at all. Just Riley. Something inside me cracked. I didn't know if it was grief or freedom. Grace stopped texting. When I called, she finally picked up. I can't do this, she said. You're changing too fast. I don't know who you are anymore. I don't know either. That's the problem. She hung up. I felt like the floor collapsed beneath me. Vanessa came in an hour later with a velvet choker and matching earrings. You don't need her, she said softly. She wants you trapped. I want you free. That night, I went into her office while she was out doing errands. I had to know what her endgame was. I hacked into her cloud drive. Years of modeling portfolios, beauty content, client notes, and one folder titled Project Riley. I opened it. Dozens of photos of me.
Candid. Secret.
Videos. Notes on my behavior. Skin tone analysis. Body measurements. Even a mock-up of a modeling profile under the name Riley Fontaine. She'd been planning this long before I knew. She didn't just discover me. She created me. I shut the laptop. Vanessa walked in minutes later. Saw my face. You know. You've been watching me. Recording me. You made me into this. You made yourself, she said coldly. I only gave you permission. You planned everything, Grace, the gift box, the outfit. Of course I did. Because you were wasting your potential. Now look at you. You're flawless. I ripped the wig off. I'm not your project. She slapped me. Silence fell. We stared at each other. She breathed heavily. You can go back.
Put the hoodie on.
Call Grace.
Be boring.
Be invisible. Then she leaned in. Or you can become who you really are. Forever. I didn't speak to Vanessa for 2 days. She didn't push me. No clothes were laid out on the chair anymore. No beauty tutorials blasting from the living room. It was like she knew if she kept pushing, I'd bolt. But the silence was worse. I couldn't stop thinking about what I'd seen in her folder. Project Riley. The fake modeling profile. The journal entries. Analyzing my behavior like I was an experiment. I tried texting Grace again. No reply. I stared at the boy version of myself in old selfies. My messy hair. Baggy hoodie. Awkward smile. I didn't recognize him anymore. But I wasn't sure I recognized her either. Who am I now? And more terrifying, who am I becoming? On the morning of the 7th day, a package arrived for me. Vanessa left it outside my door with a single note. One last choice. It's up to you now. I stared at the box like it was ticking. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside, a flawless cream-colored cocktail dress. A long auburn wig styled in waves. A pair of gold heels. A set of pearl earrings. And a folded envelope labeled, Your Debut. My fingers froze as I unfolded the envelope. Tonight, 7 p.m. Wardrobe.
Hair.
Full look. Your portfolio photographer is arriving at 7:15. Be Riley or be forgotten. My breath caught. She wasn't asking anymore. This was the moment. Say yes, and I disappear into Riley forever. Say no, and I'd lose whatever strange, twisted respect Vanessa had for me, and maybe even the chance to understand what all of this meant. I stood before the mirror again, the new dress hanging from the closet door behind me like it was breathing. On the floor lay 2 piles of clothes. 1, my old hoodie, sneakers, jeans. The normal Ryan. 2, the dress, the wig, the heels. The perfect daughter. I couldn't look away from the reflection. My lips were still slightly pink. My eyelashes still curled from last week's mascara. My skin smoother than ever. Half of me was already gone. But did I choose this? Or was I just a pawn in someone else's fantasy? I picked up the dress. Held it against my chest. It felt soft. Expensive. Heavy with pressure. Then, I heard the front door open downstairs. Footsteps. Vanessa's voice. Riley's sweetheart. Time to get ready. Just as I turned toward the door, my phone buzzed. Grace. I grabbed it like a lifeline. I'm coming over. I made a mistake. I'm not giving up on you. My heart stopped. I ran to the window and saw her pulling into the driveway. Her car door slammed. She was walking to the house. 1 floor below, Vanessa was preparing for my debut. 2 paths. 2 futures. 2 versions of me, both about to collide. I stood frozen, one heel in my hand, the dress half-zipped, the wig sitting on the vanity like a crown. The doorbell rang.
Grace.
But I couldn't move. Vanessa was climbing the stairs.
Slow. Calm. Certain.
Riley, she called. Let me help with your makeup. The mirror reflected a girl on the edge. And a boy no one remembered anymore. I reached for the doorknob. And everything went black.